and welcome to the Honeybee Knits podcast channel. My name is Melissa and I'm coming to you from Springboro, Ohio, where I live with my husband, our dog Izzy, and our two cats, Coco and Prince. Today is Sunday, January 12th, and it is a kind of gloomy, cloudy day outside, but it has stopped raining. It's been raining for about 2 or 3 days. And the weather is actually pretty nice outside right now. It's not too hot, not too cold. It's a little chilly when the wind blows, but the wind has died down. We had some pretty crazy winds last night, so it's not too bad. I'm not going to complain. It has been over a month since I have sat down to do a real podcast. If you've watched my Vlogmas, you know that I kind of fell off the face of the earth around day 8 or 9. No worries, I still kept recording, so if you're one of those people that likes to watch the Vlogmas videos even after Christmas is over, I have it uploading right now. It took me a while to edit because I decided to do one big video instead of several separate smaller videos. So it's about a little over 2.5 hours long. So it is long, and if it's not your thing and you don't want to watch it, I completely understand. A lot of the things that I talked about in Vlogmas are going to be summarized on today's podcast. I have a bunch of FOs. I have only one whip, and I'll talk about why in a minute. And I have a ton of acquisitions. But first, I have a lot of giveaways. I spent some time this morning, actually early afternoon, because it's like almost 2 p.m. and I just realized I haven't eaten anything today. Today's been kind of weird. Jason's a little sick. We didn't get out of bed until later. I sat in bed and played. I've been playing a video game. So I sat in bed and played a video game for a little bit, and then I got up and cleaned the bathrooms and started laundry. And then I started organizing my stuff to podcast, including weaving in ends on a few finished objects. I also spent some time updating the Revelry threads and also pulling giveaway winners and putting together packages for giveaways that still needed to be popped in the mail. So if you haven't received your giveaway package yet, don't fret. The holidays got away from me and I'm a bit behind, but I got caught up this morning, so you should be receiving it in the mail hopefully this week. And that goes for any packages or orders from the shop as well. There's only going to be a few more podcasts that I have shop news in, so just bear with me for those of you that are not fans of shop news, but it should be quick and short, really quick for you. So the first bit of shop news that I have is that the everything in the shop, minus the bags that my mom made, is currently 20% off. So if you've been waiting for a certain colorway or a certain base, if it's in stock in the shop, it is 25% off right now. Just to let you know, I will be increasing that to 30% next week. So if it's still out of your price range, if it's still there in the shop next week, you'll be able to get it at an additional 5% off. And I'm going to continue to do that until some of my inventory gets cleared out, or until it doesn't really make sense for me to be selling it at that point, and I can just keep it for giveaways or for friends or for myself. Yeah, that's about it for shop news. So just keep your eye out on the shop going forward. There are a very few skeins of D-stash left. There are quite a few bags still in there, so make sure that you are taking a look at all of that. With all of that being said, I am going to jump right in with giveaway news. So I have quite a few today, so I'm going to try to get through it pretty quickly. So the first giveaway we have is for the Whip It Thursday knit along, and there were only 2 entries. So one got the prize package from the random number generator and the other got the pattern. So the pattern winner is Kaida 1984 and the package winner is Phoenix Fire. So if you guys could message me on Ravelry and let me know which pattern you want, and Phoenix Fire, if you could let me know your address, I will get those in the mail to you next time I podcast. So then we have the December sock knit along. The January thread is now open, so if you've been waiting on that, you can go in there and put in your finished objects. And the winner of that is number 26, which is Allison Lorraine Knits. So send me your address, Allison. The felting giveaway, which was so kindly given to us from my friend Jen from Crafty Jen on Instagram. The winner of that is number 5, which is Rose Vuko. It's Rosevuokko. And she said that she loves the felt with her 10-year-old daughter. So that is going to a great home. I know I'm going fast, but I have a lot to talk about today. The Honeybee Knits Q4 podcast knit along giveaway winner is number 6, which is the Knitting Girl. That's my friend Elizabeth. She's also one of our moderators for the group, and she knit a sweater out of Your Highness and Panning for Gold for her granddaughter, and it is beautiful. So if you have a chance, go into the archived threads and take a look at that. So let me know that you've seen this, and I will drop a package off to you at work. Then the next giveaway is the spinning giveaway, and that again came from my friend Jen. So thank you so much, Jen. And the winner of that is post number 4, which is Bob and Lessa. So give me your address on Ravelry, and I will get that out to you. And then the final giveaway package that we have final giveaway that we have is the Snuggle shawl that was donated to the podcast by the designer. And it's a gorgeous shawl. And I had asked you on the last podcast what your favorite holiday tradition was. And the winner is Deborah Stonebreaker. And her tradition is opening stockings with her grandbabies. So congratulations, Deborah. Let me know that you've seen this on Ravelry, and I will have the designer gift that pattern to you. And thank you again for the generous donation. So I have a prize package that I'm going to show for this week's giveaway. And the first thing that will be included is was a bag donated by You Got a Bag, and that it's a Project Bags by Tish P. There's her business card, and she sent me this. I'm not going to read what it says, but look at this card she sent. How cute is that? So cute. So she was so generous and sent us a bag for a giveaway. And here it is. And I'm super jealous of the winner. This is such a cute bag. So it's got the honeybees on it. So if you are a fan of honeybees or honey or anything botanical or insects related, this is the perfect bag for you. It looks to be like a small sock size bag, but I think you could fit a small shawl in here as well. It's got the drawstring closures with the extra fabric at the top so nothing slips out. And the feature that I really love about this bag, and I didn't want to take it out of the package, but if you see this strap right here, it has a longer handle on it. So instead of using the drawstrings as your handle, you have this handle you can slip over your wrist and carry it around. So I thought that was brilliant. So the winner of, I'm going to ask a question and you have to respond in the comments below. And the winner will receive that. And also you'll see in acquisitions that I have ordered something from Knit Picks, and I got this for free. It's the Knitter's Journal from Knit Picks, and it's a really cool journal. It's basically a way for you to organize all of your projects. So this page over here is all the details about your projects. It has the project name, the pattern, the yarn you use, the gauge you had, the needles you used. You can sketch out a little design down here. Or keep track of your progress. You can put a sketch in here and then any notes you have about the project. And it really is a really nice knitting journal. And it also has, towards the back, has some lines of like just notebook paper. And then even further back, if you're a designer, it has some lines of graph paper. And it also has reference charts in the back for like different weights of yarn, etc. So it's a really great knitting journal. And under normal circumstances, I would keep it and use it for myself, but I've been talking a lot on Instagram about my knitter's planner that I purchased this year, and it has all of this stuff included in it. I thought about keeping this for next year, but quite frankly, if I keep sticking with my knitter's planner this year, I'm probably going to buy a new one next year because I absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. Now, I did not bring it up to show today just because I have so much other stuff to show, but when I pull a winner for this prize next week, I will bring it up and kind of show you guys how I've been organizing my yarn, which leads us to the question. So the question that you have to answer this week in the comments below is, how do you organize your knitting? Do you use a journal, a planner? Do you use Ravelry? Do you use both? Do you use Instagram? Because I know Instagram can link to Ravelry. Personally, I like to write everything down and keep track of it, and I will show you guys that next week. But just let me know how you like to organize your knitting, your yarn collection, your projects, whatever the case may be, in the comments below, and I will pick a winner next week for this project bag and knitter's planner. So thank you so much for the bag donation. It is much appreciated. And if anybody else has any thing that they would like to donate to the podcast as a giveaway, please contact me on Ravelry and we'll set something up. And it would be much appreciated because I am closing my shop, and that is how I typically fund giveaways. So since I'm closing my shop, that's definitely, right now I'm okay, but definitely throughout the year I will need some donations to sustain some of the wonderful knit-alongs that we have going on. Okay, so where do I start? I guess I would start with finished objects. So the first finished object, actually, I have a couple pairs of socks that I knit for Jason that you guys never saw. I may have shown them on Vlogmas, so if you would like to see those, make sure that you check out Vlogmas. Unfortunately, they have been worn, washed several times, and they're somewhere in Jason's drawer. I'm not going digging through them, but I have gotten quite a bit of knitting done otherwise, and a bit of spinning. So I'm going to start with my Advent stuff. So I finished my sweater, which I'll pop in full pictures here so that you can see this. And this was knit out of my Honeybee Knits 2019 Advent calendar. And what I did is I just used the whole 20 gram mini up until I split for the sleeves, and then I did, I want to say 3 grams of yarn on each sleeve, and then the rest in the body. I think that left me with about 14 grams. And I just knit in the round. This is the So Faded pattern by Andrea Mowry. I did not fade. I just, whenever I ran out of yarn, I just magic knotted to the next mini and kept going. So I was able to use, I think, day 1 through day 23. There are 2 minis I did not have room for in the sweater. So I'm going to make a matching pair of Advent socks. And I wanted to show you guys the full skein that was in the final day. If you would like to see the full package that I put together for the final day of Advent, it included a project bag from my friend Agatha, which is a Magpie Knits on Instagram, and a Magpie Fibers, I believe, on Etsy. It included stitch markers from my friend Heather, which is handmade by Heather on Etsy and Instagram. And it included some candy and a full skein of yarn. Now, if you didn't get the bag from Magpie Knits, then you got a bag made by myself. I only had, I think, 30 bags from Agatha. So the other 15 or 20 Advent calendars got one of my bags in it. But, and it was completely random who got what. But anyway, so this was the full skein for Advent this year. Now I do have 2 skeins, and I was contemplating what I wanted to do. I'm definitely using 1 skein for contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs on the scrappy socks that I have to make with the leftover minis from the Advent. And then I also wanted to make a full pair of socks. So I think that that's probably going to take at least 1 skein. If I need to, I will use both skeins, and I'm not sure what I'll do with the leftovers, but we'll just kind of see. For now, I'm going to use 1 skein and see how far it gets me. But it is called What a Wonderful World. The theme for my Advent calendar was Sweets Around the World, and it was just a really fun thing that I wanted to do to explore other cultures. I got the idea from my Santa Clauses that I have on my tree. I have a Santa Claus ornaments, and they're different Santa Clauses from different countries. And I had meant to take a picture of those every day and include them in my Advents, but I wasn't able to do that. I just got too busy and crazy and got way too far behind. But they were the inspiration. And we also have a local market called Jungle Gems down it's like a half hour from me. And they have so many different foods from all over the world. And it's just a magnificent store. So what I did is I got my list of countries and I went to the market and I picked out a sweet treat from each of those countries. Some of them are not something that I would consider a sweet treat, but for that country, they definitely are. So it was fun just exploring that throughout Advent. And then of course I wanted to bring it all together in the end. So my inspiration behind this was just a globe, like one of those circle globes. That's how I got the colorway inspiration. And it's called What a Wonderful World, because that's one of my favorite and my mother's favorite too songs. So anyway, I just yeah, I'm really happy with how Advent turned out. It meant a lot to me, and knowing that it's my last Advent, I am really happy with how it turned out. I don't think I could ever top it, so I'm really proud of the work that I put into it and how it all came together. So anyway, that is that. So my next finished objects from Advent knitting are my Advent socks. So this year I got 2 pairs of Advent skeins. So the first one that I purchased was from Cozy Knitter, which I did hers last year as well. And here they are. So really pretty. They're very similar to last year, but yeah, I really like them. I think they're just, I really enjoy knitting the Advent socks. They're just kind of crazy and wild, and I'm really happy with them. And then my last pair of Advent socks were from Kirby Warby Yarns, and hers were, I think, inspired by Christmas Vacation. So each colored stripe was a reference to the in the movie. So there are those. So those are done. And in addition to that, I'm going to skip around because I do have some more Advent knitting that I finished, but or Advent work that I finished. But after Advent was over, I knit a couple pairs of socks for Jason that I had started during Advent that I hadn't finished. So this is a pair of shorties for him in my Tabiana colorway, and I actually was able to finish both pairs. So he has 2 additional pairs of socks. Now I did end up knitting him, I want to say 8 pairs of socks before Advent was over, so I didn't get to the goal of 12, but I got pretty close, which is good considering how busy I was. And so I got 2 additional pairs done. So he has 10 new pairs of socks since the beginning of December. So I do have a little bucket that still has yarn that I have pulled for him, that him and I have went through, and he said he likes that yarn for socks. And I'm sure I will dig into that bucket at some point this year. But for now, I'm kind of changing how I do things around here, and I'll talk about that in a little bit after I get through finished objects and whips. So the next finished object I have are spinning finished objects, and I'm going to unscan them here. So this one is the Siobhan Crafts Advent, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. She had a botanical theme, so I think it turned out really well. And I, again, failed to get the yardage and weight of yarn. I would say this is definitely a sport weight, but I'm not sure what yards. How many yards? If I had to guess, it would be somewhere in the realm of 450 to 500 yards. So I'm just really happy with how that turned out. I get a lot of questions on what I'm going to do with my finished spinning. And I think I've made a decision that I'm going to try to spin everything that I own up between this year and next year. And then I'm going to lay out all of my hand spun by weight and color and put the ones that go together and decide on projects for them. because I know I like to make big projects, whether it's big shawls, sweaters, whatever. So I want to be able to kind of identify which ones I can put into big projects together first before I decide what I'm going to knit them up to. And anything that I have left over, I will put into either giveaway packages or send to friends or make some smaller projects. So this is my Knit Spin Farm Advent skein, and it's a very cohesive skein. I really like how this turned out, and it's very Christmassy. So I think this would be, this is probably in the realm of 300 to 350 yards. And it's very much probably a sport weight yarn, if not a DK. There's that. And my final one is what I lovingly refer to as my little yarn baby. This one is the one that I had forgotten about and found last minute, and it is called the Wool Fiend Spinning Advent. And I actually still have a full bat from her that I need to open and spin, but that'll have to wait. But here is, she went above and beyond with the amount of fiber she gave us. So I think she had only said that there was going to be 1 ounce of fiber, but each day was 2 ounces, if not 3 ounces. There was so much fiber in her advent calendar. It just created a huge monster skein that's absolutely gorgeous. There's some sparkle in there. It's so fun. And I have no idea what I'm going to make with this, but it's going to be something really wonderful. So this one spun up a touch thicker than the rest. Not much, but just a bit. So I would say this is probably a DK or worsted weight yarn. And because of that, I think there's probably about 600 to 700 yards in here. Maybe closer to 6, but definitely a big giant skein. So those are my 3 spinning advents that I had. And the last finished object that I have to show, I just finished a few days ago, and that's my Jimmy Beans Wool Advent Calendar. And I keep forgetting the name of the shawl. I think I've said it on Advent a few times. If not, you can go to their website and take a look, or their Instagram page. I honestly cannot remember the name of the shawl, but here it is. It does have mohair, and it is this kind of like odd shape, but I actually really love it. And I used blocking wires for the first time to block this, and I'm so glad that I did, because there is like less wave than I normally have when I block. I'm an aggressive blocker, so when I pull tight, there's a lot of wave in between my pins. So I decided to try out blocking wires, and while it was a pain in the ass, it was well worth the time it took to put it all together. But I'm kind of doing this wrong, I think, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's really gorgeous. And there's a whole, I can't remember which yarns is which, but I know that I think this one is spun right round. There's some Lobby and May in here. This is Koigu. Quite a few different types of yarn in there. It was a nice little sampler. And this is going to be a birthday gift for my mother. So I try to gift her my Advent shawl from Jimmy Beans every year. So I got it done extra early this year. If you'll recall, my other Jimmy Beans one from last year, I was not able to gift her because I didn't get it done until, I missed her birthday, and then I was like, I'll get it done before Mother's Day. Mother's Day came and went, and I didn't have it done. So, but yeah, it's really pretty. It was a lot of fun, and it was very simple and knit up very quickly. It was actually rather small on the needles, but because of all the lace work in it, it blocked out huge, as you could see. So I am rather happy with it and how it turned out, and it's nice and soft and airy. It's a good springtime shawl or a layered up winter shawl. So there is that. So that is all of my finished objects. So we are 26 minutes in. I might be able to get this done within an hour, which is the goal, because I've got a lot to show. So I only have one whip, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why that is. So last year I was overwhelmed with the amount of projects that I had casted on versus what I wanted to cast on and what I wanted to finish throughout the year. So I had created a knitting schedule, and I talked a lot about my knitting schedule in my other podcasts, and I've helped a lot of people create their own knitting schedules. And it was really great for me. I stayed really motivated throughout the year, and I got a lot of work done on, I got a lot of projects finished, but my number one goal last year was to get all of my languishing whips off the needles, and that didn't happen. I did get a good portion of them done, but because I was allowing myself time to cast on so many new projects, those whips stayed there. So this year, I am changing up how I'm organizing my knitting. I'm going to try my best to be a monogamous knitter and only knit on one project at a time, which is how I got so much done this month already. I've already finished 2 pairs of socks, started and finished 2 pairs of socks, and this shawl, this entire shawl, and it's day 12 because I am focusing all of my time and energy on one project at a time. So I have a pile of stuff downstairs next to my knitting chair, and it's a small pile now because I've been working my way through it the last couple weeks. And it includes the full skein from the Honeybee Knits 2018 Advent Calendar. It has the leftover minis from the 2019 Honeybee Knits Advent Calendar that I want to make scrappy socks out of. It has the full skein from Suburban Stitcher Advent Calendar from 2018 that I never knit up. And it also has my Indie Dyer Advent Calendar from this year and my Gail's Art Advent Calendar from this year. So the first goal of the year is to finish all of that before I work on any other projects. So I am well on my way, and my one whip today that I have is my socks from 2018 Honeybee Knits Advent that I casted on 2 days ago. I didn't work on them yesterday. I didn't feel well. But I am actually doing any of my full skein socks this year that I work on are going to be, by full skein, I mean full length. So my shorties will be just vanilla, but any full length, the ones that I do will be patterned. And I am working my way through Mina Phillips sock patterns. So I am starting with her Beyond Vanilla sock patterns, part 1. And working into part 2, which I received those as a birthday gift this year. And this is her Pebble socks, and the colorway, I think this is Mary Knitmas. Pretty sure that's what this one was called. And I love how it's working up so far. It is very, very different for me, but I actually really love them, and the texture is fantastic. I love the way these feel. I absolutely love them. So I am just, here's my heel markers. So I'm just past the heel. I'm about 1/3 of the way done with the foot on this one. So I'm hoping to get this sock tube finished while I'm editing this video today. And then cast on the second one and work on that during the Seahawks game tonight. So hopefully I will have a pair of finished socks tonight or tomorrow. And then I will move into working on my Suburban Stitchers ones, which will be the second pattern from this collection. And then I will do my scrappy socks, which will probably be vanilla with my leftovers from Honeybee Knits 2019. And then I would do a 4th pair that is a full skein of this and the 3rd pattern sock from that collection. So that is my goals for this week. And I would like to have those 4 pairs of socks done by Sunday. And then next week, I want to start working on my Indie Dyer Advent. And for that, I'm going to be making the ornaments from Christy from Yarn Cafe Creations. I think I have 20 grams of each colorway, so I think I'll have enough to do both this year's ornament collection for fingering weight and last year's for fingering weight. So my goal is to do 2 ornaments per colorway. And that way next year I will have all the ornaments finished and to hang on my tree. And that event will be used up. My 3rd goal, and that is my goal for next week. My 3rd and final goal for January, which will be the last week of January, is to start working my advent calendar from Gail's Art. It is a sock blank advent calendar, and I considered doing a bunch of pairs of shorty scrappy socks, and I still haven't completely ruled out that idea, but I think I would rather do another scrappy sweater because I think this one turned out so nice and I absolutely love it. And I think it's a great kind of like memory where it pulls everything together. So if it works out the same way that this one did, and I think I would do the same pattern because I love this pattern, but if it works out the same way that this one did, I would think that I would also be able to do a pair of scrappy socks out of that as well. So a sweater and a pair of scrappy socks. So that is my goal for January and February. And then when all of that's finished, by the end of March, I would also like to have my Cozy Memories blanket finished. So if I can finish all of that before the end of March, then I will allow myself one cast on with some of the acquisitions that I'm about to show. So I'm going to try to allow myself only 4 cast-ons this year, maybe 5, which is going to be really difficult. And it might be more if I can get through my whip jar in the first half of the year. Because once that Cozy Memories blanket is done, that's when I'm going to be switching my attention to the whip jar and working nothing but whip jar whips. I'm going to start out with my Speckle Pop and then pull a new one because I've already pulled Speckle Pop out. So that's the goal for the year. So far it's working really well for me because I'm getting a lot accomplished. My problem is I have a lot that I want to cast on. So we'll see how much self-control I have. So I am going to start into acquisitions now because I have a lot to show. I received some wonderful gifts from friends for my birthday. I also received some gifts from Jason for Christmas, and I received some money for both my birthday and Christmas from my dad and Jason's parents. So I purchased a few things. So I'm going to jump right in. So one of the first packages I got, and I only have one over here to show, is my friend Jen sent me some Rolags that she said that she saw from the Woolly Witch. She knows the Woolly Witch is like my favorite Rolag company, like my favorite fiber prep, my favorite colors, hands down. If you haven't tried her Rolags, you need to try them. They're amazing. And so she sent me these as a birthday gift. She said it reminded her of me, and she's totally right, Jen, because as I was looking at this, I'm like, oh, these look really familiar. I have actually purchased these before and spun them up into a skein, so it works out perfectly because now I can spin these into a second skein and I can make a bigger project. So I am extremely excited for that. So she sent me a couple packages of these. So these will be top priority for spinning. That is one thing that I forgot to mention. In between, after I finish what's downstairs already with my Advent stuff, in between each finished object, I'm going to do a spinning project. So that'll start probably end of February, early March. But until then, I'm only doing what I have downstairs because I'm not allowing myself to take anything from up here to down there until I finish some of what's down there already. Because I like to keep it nice and clean and organized down there. So this is what she sent me, so I'm really excited about those. I also received from my friend Laura from Knit for Brain. She sent me this adorable little Christmas package, and it came in this cute little bag, which I think I'm going to use these for my minis. I think it's perfect. And she sent me these socks, and they I haven't taken them out of the package yet because I wanted to show you guys, and I knew that if I took them out that I would forget. I forget about them and not show you. But it says Queen Bee. They're so cute. And she sent me these little progress keepers. Look at that. I love it. And the little heart says believe in yourself. Super cute. So Laura's so incredibly thoughtful. Every time she sees something that reminds me of her throughout the year, she'll just send me these beautiful little packages that I really appreciate. So thank you so much, Laura. I can wear those now. And my friend Kimmy, oh my gosh, she sent me a wonderful, wonderful birthday package. Guys, okay, so first of all, she sent Jason because I had purchased an advent calendar for Jason, a Reese's Cup one, and it was a mix between Reese's Cup miniatures and Reese's Pieces, and it was mostly Reese's Pieces, and each day you got 4 Reese's Pieces. So she purchased him a couple boxes, big boxes of Reese's Pieces, because he was rather salty when he opened it up and was like, there's 4 Reese's Pieces in here. And she sent me a little box full of Lifesavers, which are one of my favorite candies. She sent me this yarn holder. You just stick your yarn in there and pull it out the top. Really nice little cake holder. And this little bumblebee, honeybee, bumblebee neck massager, which feels really great. So me and Jason have used this on each other's necks quite a few times over the past couple weeks. She sent me a fix-it tool because I told her I needed one. So I'm going to add that to my notions. And she sent me this. Oh my gosh, you guys. So she had knit, I think it's called the Juniper Breeze shawl, out of, I think it's called the Juniper Breeze. I might be wrong. Juniper something. Out of one of these kits from, this is, oh shoot, Anzula Squishy Skein-Lit Chain, and this one is their electric rainbow colorway. Oh my god, it's so pretty. I love it so much. So she had sent this to me. She had made one of these, and I said, I wonder what other colors they have, and she sent me a picture of her yarn shop that has the different colors, and I was like, oh my gosh, when I purchased yarn in January, I'm getting that one. Well, I didn't have to purchase it because she bought it for me and sent it to me as a birthday gift, and I can't believe she remembered. She's so incredibly thoughtful, and I love it so much. It's so soft and squishy. It's 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, so it's an MCN base. So she sent me that. She completely spoiled me. And then she sent me this bag from our friend Nikki from Knick Knack Knits. Let me get the card out so I can show you. And Nikki sent me some of these stitch markers. Oh, the stitch markers are blocking her name. Knick Knack Knits. And they know I love penguins. So Kimmy commissioned her to make a custom bag for me out of penguins. And it's clear, you guys. I have an obsession with clear bags. I only have one sock size that I love, that's rainbow. I wanted to get a bigger one. So I'm so glad that she sent this to me. And it's got the cute little penguins on it. I love it so much. And the sparkle, and the glitter doesn't come off. So it's like in the fabric. So if you're one of those people that doesn't like glitter like Jason, you don't have to worry about that. But I highly recommend you go and take a look at her shop. She has some wonderful bags in there. And Kimmy also sent me this wonderful yarn tote, clear yarn tote from Around the Table Yarns, which is a wonderful shop in Cleveland, Ohio, in Shaker Heights. If you're ever up there, make sure you check it out. They're so incredibly welcoming, and it's just, they have such a huge variety of yarns, different types of yarn, first of all. So they have indie dyed and they have commercial dyed, and they have different price points as well, which is great. So I would highly recommend that anybody that's in the Shaker Heights area, go check them out. So that is what I received from friends for my birthday. But I also purchased some things. One of the first things that I purchased with Christmas money is something I wasn't able to buy, which is this Addie king size knitting machine. And I haven't had a chance to use it yet. I've had it for like almost 2 weeks now, but I haven't had time to put it together and play with it. But I purchased this because I have a lot of knit picks that I originally was going to make sweaters out of, but I made a sweater out of one. I had bought a bunch of sweater quantities out of Wool of the Andes, and I made one sweater out of it, and it's too itchy for me to wear. So I'm going to use this so I can make some hats for some charity, for my dad, Jason's dad, and charity hats. And yeah, it'll be fun. I think, I hope that I use it, and I hope that I don't just like fly through my knit pick stash and then need to buy more yarn to use it with, which I don't think will be a problem, but because I think I want to do some scrappy hats as well. But I did get some yarn to try on it on Amazon, and these were like $3 a piece, I think, on Amazon. And I just bought some Lion Brand Woolies, which is the acrylic blend, I believe. Let's see, it's 80% acrylic, 20% wool. So I bought this one. I basically just bought one of every color that they had, and I figured I would use these as my tests for the knitting machine. There they are. So I'm hoping next weekend, so now that I'm podcasting this weekend, I organized last weekend, I'm podcasting this weekend and cleaning up the loft a little bit, putting away some acquisitions and stuff today. So I'm hoping by next weekend, I know I won't have time to do it during the week, but I'm hoping that I can get this set up and figure it out and try to create some hats. And hopefully by the next time I see you guys, I have gone through the instruction manual and watched a few tutorials. So I'm pretty confident that I know what I'm doing. But hopefully by the next time I see you guys, I will have some hats knit up on the machine to show. So that was the first thing I bought with Christmas money. And it's not, I'm just gonna jump around because they're not close to me. So Jason purchased for me for Christmas, as one of my Christmas gifts, some Malabrigo Rasta in the fuchsia colorway. And he got me 10 skeins of it so that I can knit the grandpa cardigan from Hohi Locatelli. And this is a really interesting yarn. It's incredibly soft. It's a beautiful, beautiful colorway. Some friends and I are doing a sweater knit along, and I really want to knit a bulky sweater this year, and the sweater's for July. So they were kind of making fun of me, like, are you really gonna knit a bulky sweater for July? And I'm like, yeah, I am, even if I don't wear it. Like, I just want to knit a bulky sweater and have a reason to knit it. And I love the Grandpa Cardigan by Hohi Locatelli, and I love this colorway, so it just kind of came together. But because it is July, he also for Christmas purchased 4 skeins of Malabrigo, which one is this? Malabrigo sock in the fuchsia colorway. So I can make the Este sweater. I wouldn't really call it a sweater. It's a pullover, but it's a short sleeved, kind of lacy t-shirt kind of style. So I'm going to make that one as well, so that I have something that I can actually wear in July instead of just knitting it and then carrying it over my arm as an accessory. So those are 2 of the cast-ons that I would like to make the first half of the year, which this one I am hoping I can do in like a weekend, because it's super bulky and I think it'll knit up super fast. The next thing that Jason purchased for me for Christmas is, and it's going to be kind of hard to show, he got me the Dotted Rays kit from Lobby Anime. It's just gorgeous. So it came with these 4 skeins of yarn. So this one is, I'm not going to do all the minis because there's a lot of them, but this one I'll do the full skein. So this is Tang. This is Pinku Graffiti. It's really pretty. This one is Amy's Sweater. This is one of my favorite colorways that they have. I think I have this in another base. And then this one is Peanut Butter and Jelly. So pretty. And it came with a bunch of minis. So I'll just throw them up here for you to see. There's some. So pretty. Some of these, I think there's 2 of the minis because I think you need to use more than 1 mini in the shawl in that color. So some of them look the same. They are. So all of that. I'm going to put that back in this kit. So Jason did good for Christmas. I got a lot of yarny things. He also purchased a new Fitbit for me, which is on the charger because it was dead this morning when I woke up. And he got me, I'll show you, just a second, which granted, I gave him a list of the things that I wanted him to buy me, so he didn't just be like, he didn't like go out and be like, oh, I think she'd like this and buy it for me. I gave him a list and like, this is the stuff that I would like to have. So he got me some tough ones. So he got me pink peppermint, which I asked for. I asked for all this. Sugar skull and sugar plum. And this Lobby Anime Yarn Nerd pin. So that is, I think, it from Jason. But I got money from, which is how I bought my knitting machine. But I got money from my dad for my birthday and Christmas, and then I got money from Jason's parents for my birthday and Christmas. So one of the things that Jason's parents gave me was a $100 gift card. And this was on my Christmas list that I didn't get. So that's basically what I did, is like, if it was on my Christmas list and I didn't get it, I used the money that I got to get it. So the knitting machine and the Fable 4 were both on my Christmas list. So I got everything that I asked for Christmas, which is really awesome because that doesn't always happen. So I wanted some Fable fur in this colorway. This is the Kuma colorway. And I want to make a throw for my front room. And guys, I want to make a throw for every room because this is so soft. If I had the money and the time, I would make everybody one of these blankets for Christmas next year because it's so incredibly soft. My front room needs a throw. This came out around the time I was thinking that it needed a throw. So I got 18 skeins. I have no idea how many skeins I need for the, I might have enough to make 2 throws. I don't know. Each skein is, it's 100% polyester. And each skein is 71 yards. So it's a super bulky weight. Here's what it looks like. I think it'll knit up rather fast. And I just want to make all of the blankets with this. Ooh, this would be like a nice like coat. Maybe I need to make a coat. It's so soft. But so anyway, I have 18 skeins of this. I have no idea how many I'll need. I might need more, I might need less. I think I'm just gonna kind of use the gauge and determine how many stitches I want to cast on, determine how big I want the blanket and how many stitches I want to cast on, how long I want to make it based on the gauge, and then just go from there. So hopefully that, I said I'm allowed to have 4 cast-ons, and I've already shown you 3 things I want to cast on, 4 things, because I want to do this one too, so plus everything else. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll just get my entire whip jar done before June, and then I can just do all of this the rest of the year and have more than 4. Anyway, so the next thing that I purchased was planned, and I had gotten, Wool and Honey had given away $25 gift certificates to anybody that signed up for one at the end of last year, and I got one. But I was only going to use it if I could buy something that was more than $25 so I could contribute back to their company. So they're doing something really wonderful for the knitting community, for those of us that are not blessed enough or lucky enough or able to purchase the things that we want to when we want to, or whatever the case may be, or maybe even give it as a gift. So I have been eyeing the shawl, didn't know what I was going to make it out of. And then that they had that gift card, and I looked and I saw that they have these kits on their website. And that shawl is the Winter Honey Shawl by Andrea Mowry. I've been wanting to make it for a while, but it was just kind of one of those things where it's like, I want to make it, but I have enough yarn, not buying yarn, whatever. So when the opportunity came up, I got the yarn to make it. And I decided to make it in the same colorway that she did hers out of, just because I really like it. And this is Brooklyn Tweed Hayloft, or this is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in the Hayloft colorway. This beautiful mustardy brown color, and I really love that shawl too. So and I think this one will knit up pretty quickly too. It's a what weight yarn is this? I'm gonna say it's worsted. Yeah, it's worsted weight, 140 yards per 50. I think this is 50 grams. I don't think so. Pretty sure these are 50 gram skeins. So Brooklyn Tweed is very rustic, but it's a little bit different than some other rustic yarns that I've felt and touched. It has like this element of lanolin in there that as you use it, like first touch, I'm like, ugh. But when I was gifted from my friend Mercy some quarry, and I knit a cowl out of it. And as I knit it, it just got softer and softer as your hands warm up to the fiber. It's really interesting. You can actually feel the lanolin coming out of the yarn onto your hands, and it doesn't dry your hands out like most non-superwash wools do. This is non-superwash wool. So it's a lot different, and it's really soft. It's hard to explain. It gets very pliable and soft as you work with it. So I highly recommend it. So I'm going to be making the Winter Honey Shawl. Now, the next purchase was not planned in any way, shape, or form. It was an impulse purchase, which I have not had many impulse purchases. I've been very good about not doing impulse purchasing. I would say the last 6 months or so, I've had very few impulse purchases. But Primrose is doing a studio clean out, and they had 40% off. And I have a love-hate relationship with Primrose because I'm not always 100% happy with their customer service, and I'm not always 100% happy with their products. But I love, love, love some of their colorways, and I can't stay away from them. So 40% off. I purchased some Marquise MCNDK in the So Fetch colorway, and I got quite a few skeins of it. 40% off. But I got quite a few skeins. I'm not going to hold them all up, but I'm going to make the All the Lights colorway, All the Lights cardigan by Joji Locatelli, and it's almost like a jacket type thing because it is oversized. But yeah, I've been wanting to make it, and it was another one of those things similar to the shelter where it was like, I want to make that product, but I don't have the yarn for it, and I have plenty of yarn now. So I just kind of put it on the back burner, and it wasn't even on my queue list for the year. But when the opportunity came up, everything just worked out perfectly. So that's it. That's all. Oh no. When I purchased the Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, I also bought a few enamel pins because I love them. So this says, "We will survive the darkness." And I have a bunch of enamel pins. I need to go through and put them on my project bags. This is the just one more row spinner one. This one is the day and night spinner. So like you can spin it to show day or night on there. I thought they were cool. And then this one is the Moon Phases spinner. I really like the spinning ones, in case you can't tell. And then this one is The Magic Is In You. So I liked that one. So I've got quite a few new enamel pins, and I'm going to put all, I have a little bucket that I have of the ones I've acquired so far this year that haven't been put on bags. So when I get some time, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I will go through all my project bags and start adding enamel pins to them. And I have 2 more packages coming that I ordered this week that I'll show on the next podcast. Really exciting stuff. But other than that, that is all. Oh, and this one was hiding. I got the Book Lovers Club member pin because you know why. So like I said, I have 2 more things coming that isn't here yet. But that is it until July. I have gone crazy purchasing with Christmas money and birthday money and getting gifts from people. And, but I got everything that I wanted, everything that was on my list, and now I am done. Nothing new was going on my list until July. And July is significant. I'm going to a fiber festival, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet. When I am, I will give you guys all the details. But yeah, I think that's it. And we're at 58 minutes, just under an hour. So yeah, so I think I mentioned the rest of the plans today is to work on these socks, edit this video. Seahawks game is coming on. I see my computer, the Vlogmas videos have finally finished processing, so they should be live on YouTube now. And this one hopefully will go up this evening or tomorrow morning. It's going to be a crazy week at work. Work has really picked up, so I am not going to have time to do some of the things that I used to be doing during the day currently. Might change in the future. But so no knitting during the day, no Instagramming during the day, none of that stuff. So everything that I do organizational wise has to be done on the weekends. But hopefully next time I see you, I will have 4 pairs of finished socks and a good start on my Indie Dyer advent calendar. And hopefully next time my podcast will only be 30 to 45 minutes. Probably not, because I'm going to show my planner, which is a whole nother story. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. I hope you guys are off to a great start in 2020. And I am excited to share everything it has in store for me. We have a cruise that we've booked the end of March, so that's something to look forward to. If you want to see some of my day-to-day life things, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'm honey_bee_knits. I'm on Ravelry as Honeybee Knit. I'm on Ravelry as Melissa1308 and in the Honeybee Knits Ravelry podcast group. I'm also on Etsy as honeybeenknitsco.etsy.com. And I think that's it. Anyway, I hope you guys had a wonderful couple weeks, and I will see you in a few. Bye.